Well, hello everyone, welcome. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV in story mode. Are you ready to continue this here raid? Derman is so ready. Yes, we've got the third of the Coils of Bahamut to do today, and I'm very excited / nervous too, because this one includes the hardest fight of the bunch, even unsynced. It's all right though. We're gonna have a crew of professionals, and we're gonna do great. Urianger, how's it going? I think this one. Here we go. Urianger would have you delve deeper into the mysteries surrounding the Elder Primal Bahamut. A crystal-choked abyss lieth beneath the Cartano Flats, the unholy cradle of an Elder Primal, and by thy hand were truths great and terrible wrested from those once celestial depths. Yet, as is oft the case, an answer doth breed a profusion of questions, and the unknown doth beckon with irresistible allure. Ne'er have the mysteries of the Red Moon lay so neatly within our grasp. Lady Alisaie hath sent word of her coming. 'Tis time once more to brave the precipice and leap unflinching into the jagged wound that doth gape beneath the land. You make it sound so fun. Mine apologies. I trust I've not kept you waiting over long? Derman, I'm both delighted and reassured to have you at my side once more. I would not waste your time with trivialities. Let us proceed directly to the discussion of that which we've learned, and that which we hope to learn anon. Initially, it was evidence of a new primal that led us to delve into the cavern beneath Castrum Occidens, and to explore the subterranean scars left after the fall of Bahamut. As you will well recall, what we found was a vast, largely intact fragment of the fallen satellite, and within the depths of that structure we discovered not the new primal we had expected, but the broken form of Bahamut himself. Yet even this great revelation would soon be overshadowed by the appearance of my own dear grandfather. I have since shared our sundry findings with Rambrus, preeminent scholar of the Saints of Saint Quanah, and he in turn did kindly furnish me with his theory concerning the Elder Primal's Allagan prison. 'Twould seem that Bahamut was constructed to gather unto itself the rays of the sun, and thence channel this radiant bounty unto the Crystal Tower. The ancients saw great potential in Bahamut's capacity to manipulate energies of otherwise unmanageable magnitude. 'Twas for this reason that they did bind him within the Red Moon to serve as its living core. Do you remember the sight that greeted us at the culmination of our journey? The colossal devices that surrounded and seemed to cradle the incomplete form of the Elder Primal? From the information provided to us by the Sons of Saint Quanah, we've learned that these contraptions were termed internment hulks, and that each bore the designation Ragnarok class. The purpose of these hulks is believed to be twofold. First, they're meant to act as binding coils, rendering Bahamut incapable of escape. And second, they're meant to feed him. Perversely, the self-same energy which prevents him from moving also serves to sustain his corporeal manifestation. Bahamut is permitted neither to die nor to truly live. He's merely allowed to be. For century upon century was the Elder Primal thus imprisoned, bound about in fetters so subtle in their working, and yet so adamant that though his cell be destroyed, Bahamut lieth yet at the mercy of his long-departed captors. It has long been held that the Primals require the prayers of their faithful followers to exist, yet none alive worship Bahamut. Could it be then that the Allagans found a way to simulate prayer itself? It seems the only logical explanation. I would postulate, therefore, that the regenerative mechanisms in question also supply something akin to the power of prayer. Consequently, if all the internment hulks were to be rendered inactive, Bahamut should dissolve into the ether. Upon the evidence of thy previous foray, we determined that the Elder Primal is sustained by 3 such binding coils. Thus did we commence to scour the realm, and found in the Twelveswood an as yet unexplored fragment of the Lesser Moon bearing a most familiar etheric signature. And after conducting a preliminary investigation, we believe we've discovered a point from which this North Shroud fragment and the second of the internment hulks can be entered. As Eorzea's sword in the darkness, I would have you once more lead the charge. I will, of course, be there at your side. Once you've made your preparations, head to Falgird Float and make yourself known to my assistant, Serpent Lieutenant Anel. Anel? Yes, the fallen fragment is not far from the settlement, and her position provides a convenient rendezvous point. I will break these elegant fetters, for they bind my grandfather as surely as they bind Bahamut. So that's a lot of interesting information about the existence of Dalamud not as a thing created to, as a thing created in the first place, not just another moon that was up there, and not just a thing that was, brought down, intended to be dropped as a weapon. A thing that was put up there as a part of a huge energy source mechanism by a previous civilization turned against us. All very neat. Okay, we need to get ourselves to Fallgourd Float and get things moving, so... And there we are. All right then, let's see. Ah! We have a friend here already waiting. Well, hello. How are you doing? Falka here will be joining us today, and thank goodness, Falka is one of the most capable players in our entire doggone Dantalis group. Falka goes and solos a bunch of these raids and fights for fun. So, we're in pretty good hands here. Anel, how's it going? Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Derman Durami? I've been expecting you. My name is Anel. I've been accorded the rank of lieutenant within the Order of the Twin Adder that I might better assist Lady Alisaie with her endeavors here in the Twelveswood. Such authority has allowed me to act without interference from the local soldiery and to conduct a preliminary investigation of the Alder Springs fragment. From what we've seen of the exterior, the structure shares many common features with the one you explored in Lenosha, and likely plays host to similar complement of guardians. But I fear words alone will do little to prepare you for what lies ahead. Pray seek out my comrade to the south and west. He's charged with observing all that occurs in the vicinity of the fragment, and will be well placed to show you the thing, if nothing less. Sounds great. I'll go do that. Good to see you, as always. I'll be joining you in a bit. All right. Now let's get ourselves over there. Ah, here you are. Sharp-eyed serpent private. Standing precariously. You know you could spy from, over here. Or build guardrails. What business brings you to this broken land? Unless you fancy being ground to a bloody pulp under the granite fists of the wandering golem, I suggest you bugger... No, rest assured. I'm here to fight much scarier things. Oh. My apologies, sir. Lady Alisaie did send word of your impending arrival, but it would seem I've grown rather too accustomed to shooing away curious sellswords and reckless explorers. I mean, I'm that too, to be fair. Behold, if you will, one of the fallen shards of the Red Moon Dalamud. Our initial survey uncovered no evidence of the Empire's presence, which, while fortunate in itself, meant that the approach to the fragment had yet to be cleared. After much effort, however, we succeeded in carving out a semblance of a path that should grant you access to the entrance. And that, I'm afraid, is where our progress ended. The interior, well, assuming that the architecture of this hulk resembles the first, the master controls you seek will be located on the bottommost layer, past all the ingenious and deadly defenses of which the ancient Alligans seemed so indecently fond. If you would know more, I'm afraid there's nothing for it but to brave the depths of the fragment yourself. Lady Alisaie will soon be arriving at Fallgourd. Pray do not tarry on your way back to the lieutenant's post. I imagine our young mistress will be most eager to commence the expedition. The road ahead promises peril aplenty, and I would humbly suggest that this is not the occasion to stint on preparation or provisions. May the 12 watch over you. Boy, you said it. All right, let's go talk to Anel one more time. Hello, I'm back. Master Durami, I trust the private's explanation was worth the journey? Simply securing an approach to the fragment's entrance proved a monumental task. I dare not think what defeating its inner defenses will entail. If there's aught I might do to aid you... Oh, hello. Oh, Lady my apologies, Master Alphino. Has there been a change of plans? Oh, hey, sorry, I didn't recognize you. You two should wear different things. If you need a cue, Alphino and Alisaie's hair, parts in sort of mirrored directions, so that's one helpful cue. Also, you can see here this little bit of kind of teal trim on Alphino. Alisaie has red here, and also has a red little, it's not really a bow, but a little clasp on her hair, and Alphino's is blue. There's not a lot of cues, so it's pretty easy to mistake the two. They will eventually start dressing differently, and that helps immensely. Master Alphino, has there been a change of plan? Urianger informed me of the impending expedition. I merely came to exchange a few words with my fellow scion before he disappeared into the depths of the second coil. Dermin, though I would strenuously deny it if she were present, my sister's admiration and affection for our grandsire exceeds even mine own. Upon the matter of his legacy, therefore, Alisaie is wont to go above and beyond the call of duty. In our grandfather's absence, she's made the salvation of Eorzea her personal crusade. 'Twas that which prompted her to brave the perils of the first coil, yet the fact that she risks her life in this manner is not the greatest of my concerns. No, it is her subsequent fixation upon my grandfather's shade that worries me the most. This quest to rid the world of Bahamut must not become a quest to save a man long dead. My sister must needs have a better reason to fight. A time will come when the fate of the realm rests upon our shoulders, and when it does, we must be strong in our resolve, and certain of the stakes for which we risk all. There's a wide difference between fighting for the good of Eorzea and fighting for the love of a man who died for the good of Eorzea. Alisaie must choose her own path. She cannot rely on grandfather to choose it for her, for he is gone. I'm glad that it is you with whom she makes this journey. If Alisaie is to discover a deeper purpose, then where better to find one than at the side of Eorzea's greatest champion? 'Twas there that I found mine, after all. But 'tis past time I was gone. Fair fortune in your endeavors, Dermin. Ah, Lieutenant Anel, was it? I would appreciate you making no mention of my presence here to my sister. You could have just called. Lady Alisaie is due to arrive at any moment. I shall abide in confident expectation of your triumphant return. I appreciate that faith you have in me. Even unsynced, this can be a scary thing. Parts of it, anyway. Anyway, we have access now. Oh, and we have another. Another member of our crew here to join. Good to see you. Hello. Good to see you, Yasasa. Right. Well, 2 of our crew are already assembled. Let me go ahead and, 3 of our crew are already assembled. Let me go ahead and gather a few more. Be right back. All right, and here we are. We've got ourselves a new crew who have all just kind of gathered to hang out and wait in person, which I love. Let's go ahead and look at our party makeup because it's a bit unusual, but it's gonna be fine. I am a warrior. Falca is also here as a warrior. Eos is also here as a warrior. Yasasa is a dragoon. Sovar is here as a warrior. Embe is here as a monk. Pakins here as a summoner, and Espoir is, sorry if I'm saying the name wrong, Espoire is here as a white mage, our soul healer. Lots of warriors, but that's probably on purpose because damage output isn't really our main concern, it's mostly survivability, because the last of this set is going to be a fun doozy. I might not talk as much during that part, but we got a little time, so let's go ahead and get queued up and get started, shall we? The second Coil of Bahamut, turn 1. Your foray into the caverns beneath Castrum Occidens has led you into an unexpected revelation. The incomplete form of Bahamut, harbinger of the calamity, slumbers deep within the earth. Though seemingly a prisoner, the Elder Primal's gradually being regenerated by the massive Ragnarok-class internment hulks that surround the unmoving entity. Alisaie reasons that if Bahamut's full restoration is to be prevented, then all 3 coils sustaining and repairing the dreadful being must be deactivated. Filled with new determination, you assemble a group of courageous comrades and set your sights on the fragment of Dalamud found in the North Shroud. That we do, and here we go. Welcome back to the raid, everyone, and turn 6 of 13. And here we are. Thank you to all of these lovely people for joining today. It's going to be a good old time. Great fashion as well, by the way. Love the jacket. So many great squads. All right, let's do this thing. Charge! How strange. Why could we not see all this before? I suppose it's only to be expected that corrupted crystals should accompany a disturbance of this magnitude. After all, the fragment likely pierced the ground to a depth of many hundreds of yalms. The swirling ether leaking from the wound must warp the very air, creating a veil that hides these formations from view. Well, it's not as if we expected this to be a straightforward task. Let's tread carefully, shall we, Derman? Extremely so, yes. 'Tis imperative that we win through to the depths of this structure and disable the mechanism that powers Bahamut's regeneration. Of course, if we should chance to encounter my grandfather upon the way, I shall not let him go again. Not while there's hope that he may yet be saved. But mayhap we should put such thoughts from our minds until after we've successfully gained entrance to the place. That opening up ahead appears a suitable point of ingress. Apologies in advance, by the way, everyone. My ability to describe mechanics is pretty much going to disappear now. I have reviewed them, but there are quite a few of them, and they're going to happen fairly quickly. I'm sure there are plenty of folks in comments who have been through all this before, and in fact been through it back in the day when it was way, way harder, and I would love to hear some stories if any of y'all have them. I always find that fun reading, because I'm legit impressed anybody could get through this nonsense. But here we are coming up on the boss, I believe, of this turn. Big plant. Meet Rafflesia, everyone. It's going to die very quickly. I don't even know if a single mechanic is going to come into play. Nope. Ordinarily, one thing you have to watch out for is it'll, like, drop some pods that if they survive long enough will create these big, huge bramble patches on the ground that'll cause a lot of damage to you. Also, it will, bind and chain, like, different players together, and you have to run away from each other to break the chain or else take a bunch of damage. It's pretty great. We'll run into all of these kinds of mechanics more in future fights, and honestly, they're better implemented in that case. But okay, that's the first one done. Let me collect all this nonsense, and then we'll get started on the next one. And here we are. It's so fun, everyone just parked back here. Okay, well. On to the next thing. Second Coil of Bahamut turn 2, or turn 7. It's easier to keep track of them if you just keep on counting up. So turn 7. After battling your way through the base of the colossal fragment that impales the ground in Alder Springs, your party enters the structure through an opening in its outer shell. The sight that greets you is of an endless procession of azure-lit passages, within which can be glimpsed the grotesque silhouettes of chimerical monstrosities. Sounds fun, let's go. And welcome, everyone. Here to the inner bulkhead. That armor? No, it couldn't be. Be on your guard, Derman. Though it defies all reason that he should live, I know of only one who wears such armor. He whom the Empire raised as high as the Black Wolf himself, the legatus of the 7th Legion. I speak of the madman who brought the Meteor Project to fruition. We face the White Raven, Neil von Darnus, harbinger of the 7th Umbral Era. Neil Van Darnus. Ah, that was the name of the fool who perished upon the eve of the promised age of glory. It should not be uttered within these hallowed halls. Out of love for his loyal servant, the one true deity named me Nail Deus Darnus. The one true deity. Bahamut. He speaks of Bahamut. O Lord Bahamut, thy name is as sweet water to parched lips. How my heart swells at thy sacred touch. This blessed sanctum is the domain of my God and his beloved children. Seek to defile its glory, and you will answer to me. How's this possible? From what Alphanos told me, Neil was slain on the eve of the calamity. Whatever the truth of the matter, we must be on our guard. There can be no reasoning with the worshippers of a primal. Well, here we go. Everyone's being very patient. Again, this was an early raid in this game's existence, and, well, no, don't leave the duty. I just thought it was a way to go. They would get a lot better about not peppering cutscenes and lots of story throughout the middle of a raid and making people wait as they went on designing these things. They got better at putting the story and cutscene content on either end of each raid so people weren't kept waiting. But fortunately, we are partied up with a bunch of very patient, kind people who are all being very nice. And here we are. All right, let's pick fights. Fights which should go fairly quickly. I believe that this turn will have a proper boss. I just don't remember which one. We'll find out together. But if these small fry are any indication, shouldn't be a huge issue. And we do have some of our most experienced players in the Dantalis Theater Company with us in this group right now, so I'm not too worried. This looks like our arena. And here we are. Melusine. I honestly do not remember much of this one. Although, actually no, some of this is coming back. I think there's a few different status effects that if this boss survived, which she won't, if this boss survived, there's several different mechanics that could happen. There are different status effects that each party member could get hit with. One, which after it goes off, will set off a petrifying blast in front of your field of vision. One which will set off a big room-wide AoE that will kill everybody. And really, those are the two ones you need to worry about. The interesting thing is, if you get hit with a status effect, which will like set off a petrifying blast in front of you, you can just try to like aim it off the side to make sure that it doesn't hit anybody in your party, because if someone gets hit with petrification and then gets hit by literally anything, they just straight up die, one hit kill. But the way that you're going to dodge the second one, you know, that second one that's room wide and will hit everybody, is there are some big adds that come into the room that if you petrify them, the person who gets the like raid-wide AoE circle thing can position themselves behind that petrified enemy so it won't hit any of the other party members behind it. It requires a lot of coordination. It's pretty neat. Anyway, on to the next one. All right. Turn 8. Your party activates the Coil's lift-like mechanism and at a depth of 3,256 yalms arrives within the interior of the internment hulk proper. The great cavern where the elder primal Bahamut dreams is yet many thousands of yalms distant. Explore the labyrinthine passages of the Ragnarok-class starship and secure a route into the lowest levels of the Hulk. That we will. This boss, once we reach it, I remember there being a little bit of a trip getting there, and I'm just going to follow my fellows, who hopefully remember how to go. This boss is kind of interesting. It stays in the center of the arena, but there's a bunch of oh, there's cutscenes, right. I'm reminded of the passages beneath Castrum Occident. We must have traveled quite some distance below the surface. More of the same tunnels. 12 be good. Surely they cannot continue all the way down from the upper floors. 'Tis difficult to see inside, but I have a terrible feeling those corridors house more of the dreadful guardians you've already faced. It's said that the Alligans excelled in the creation of chimerical beasts, and that the Red Moon teemed with 1,000 fantastical monstrosities, all to prevent the enemies of the ancient empire from releasing the Elder Primal. I wonder, the creatures that prowl these halls, could they be the beloved children of which Neil spoke? Well, this is yet another mystery to ponder upon our return. Shall we continue onwards? Yes, we shall. Let's go. So this boss we'll get to after a bit of a journey, which I hope my companions remember how to do, because I do not remember navigating this place. This boss is kind of interesting. They will stay in the center of their arena, and a bunch of towers will pop up on like 4 different sides, each of which kind of brings in new mechanics. Bringing in some adds, hitting us with various effects. Thank goodness Falcon knows where we're going. And the way you kind of have to manage these towers a lot of the times is you have to send one of the party in to kind of like take a hit from them to stop their charges, I think. Again, my knowledge of mechanics is getting fuzzy enough that I should probably just stop trying to explain, because we're just going to try to stay story-focused for the most part from here on. But, oh, there we go. There was a thing. Yeah, I'll tell you what, if anybody in comments wants to try to explain mechanics instead of me doing a terrible job here live, by all means do. We're here for the story anyway. And in future raids, I'll try to brush up a little bit more in advance. If I get the chance. But here we are. Boing! The Avatar! Attack! I wonder, will it last long enough for these tower things to pop up? Nope. Yay! I just really need to stress to you the amount of coordination and planning it would require to beat this synced. And doubly so way back in the day before it was more heavily nerfed. Anyway, that's 3 down. We've got 1 more today, and it's the real doozy. If I don't die once, I will be so astounded. So astounded. All right. Turn 9. At a depth of 6,329 yalms, your exhausted yet determined fellowship enters the Hulk's operations deck. An impossible scene unfolds before you, the surreal landscape bathed in a crimson glare and holding the promise of epic conflict. I'm actually going to talk about this one a little bit before we even go in, because I'm actually going to need to pay attention to my companions here and chat a little bit more to follow instructions. The way this fight kind of works is that a lot of meteors are going to get dropped of different colors. They cannot be too close to each other when they drop, or we all die. Some of these meteors will break out golems that'll wander around. We need to get these golems to eat some of the fallen meteors to clear them away, or we might die. If the golems run into each other or collect too many meteors, we die. There's so many ways to die in this one, exciting ways to die, and I am sure I'll find at least one of them, but I'm going to stick near my crew and just kind of follow them, and we'll just enjoy the story as best we can. Here we go. It's not nearly as lethal as it used to be, but the fact that you can be doing this unsynced with people at level 90, well geared, and still party wipe in this level 50 raid is pretty wild. And unless I'm mistaken, this would be a pretty familiar scene to 1.0 players, as I believe this is the battlefield in which you fought Neil Von Darnus in 1.0 leading up to the Calamity and the 2.0 launch. That surely cannot be Dalamud. Where are we? The final resting place of Neil Van Darnus. This is a grave for the undeserving. And for the crime of trespassing upon my god's sanctuary, this place shall serve as your grave too. No. In the hour of his failure, Neil Van Darnus felt the currents of ether begin to bear away his essence. But before oblivion could claim the last of him, a divine will reached out, and I was born. Then did the words of my God resound in mine ears. Bring unto mine enemies crushing defeat, that they might know despair without end, and claim thee thus the victory which thou wert once denied. Twould seem that little remained of Neil's essence when Bahamut plucked him from the brink of oblivion, and the result was this strange simulacrum. Nevertheless, her aura bespeaks great power. She channels the rage of the Elder Primal himself. Lord Bahamut, thy wish is my command. None shall scape thine unquenchable fury. Come, ye dull, unthinking beasts, bare your teeth. They will avail you not in the calamity to come. We've got this. Or I should say, they've got this. And I'm also here. This'll be fun. I'm sticking near to them. Really cool set piece, though. Well, battle commencing in 10 seconds. I believe they are all coordinating via voice chat. I can't join because I'm recording, obviously, but it's nice knowing you're in good hands. Ah, so this is the current strategy. To stick real close. Then come a whole bunch of meteors dropping down. Or at least they will in a second. There they are. We're fine. I don't know how we're fine, but we are. I have no idea what wizardry they're doing right now. I feel like this shouldn't work, and yet... I guess these things aren't instant kill anymore, they just do such an absurd level of damage that, you need to be, like, really over-leveled to be able to survive it. Over-leveled and super buffed and, yeah. Amazing. Someone in comments, please explain how this worked later. I'm fascinated. This is definitely not the original strategy that had to be deployed. Oh, 10 seconds to Mega Flare. That sounds fun. This should be a spectacle. Ooh, music change and everything. And there we go. All right. Wow. I'm kind of impressed. Good job, squad. I can take 0 credit for that one. But I am impressed. That was neat. Ah, thank you all so much for joining. This was very fun. Well done, all of you. You all know this game so much better than I do. And you did very, very well. Thank every single one of you for it. This was great. Falca, Pakin, all of your names. Espori, Eos, Yasasa, Silvar, Emby, all of you, thank you very, very much for joining and doing all this. This was great. I'm going to collect these things and then get on with story. Poor creature. Would that you had never been born. You had surrendered your physical form and collapsed into ether. But Bahamut denied you death and imprisoned what little was left of you in an ethereal shell resembling... what, I wonder? Images from your memory, perhaps? But that shell's now broken. And your primal deity seems disinclined to sustain your existence. My primal deity? I kneel to no icon. What need have I to beg the favor of such filth? I'm Neil Van Darnus, legatus of the 7th Legion. No, a moment. My thoughts are clouded, and this body's not mine own. Could it be that you spoke the truth? Was I ensorcelled by the Lesser Moon's ancient prisoner? That will not happen again. You speak as if Bahamut no longer controlled you, but that's impossible. Once a primal ensnares a mind, it cannot be freed. Unless Bahamut simply relinquished his claim. What need has he of a broken spirit bound for the ethereal realm? Oh, that I should fall prey to the very influence I sought to purge from the land. The irony is galling. But do not assume that all my actions were chosen for me. It was my will that the Meteor Project be resurrected. Mine and no other. Yet it seems that my grand designs were destined to fail. Even the ungentle release of death was denied me. Neil, please, you must tell us more of the calamity. I must know the truth of what's befallen the world, and what has become of my grandfather, Archon Louisoix. You are Louisoix's grandchild. Ah, the fates are generous with their cruelty. Continue on, if you would have your answers. They await you at the terminus of your path, but know that this path leads only to despair. The light of truth was ever harsh and unforgiving. Why do you say this? Grandfather will be freed once we put a stop to Bahamut's restoration, will he not? What are you not telling us? Steel yourself, child. Only unbending resolve and merciless strength can conquer what lies ahead. The weak can do naught but weep until under the pall of their own misery, as did the frail child I once was. Silence, chattering raven. Your wretched wings are broken, and you shall soar no more. My crimson moon, your brilliance sears mine eyes. I recognize that voice, Derman, but never would he say such words. Come, let us finish what we came to do. All will be put aright when the final hulk lies dormant. Grandfather will be himself again, I'm sure of it. Bahamut regenerates more swiftly than I'd anticipated. Let us hope that disabling this coil will serve to slow the process. The display seems different, but the controls appear to mimic the mechanism we found in the Lonosian Hulk. It shouldn't pose a problem. Derman, forgive me. The moment I beheld Neil's transformation, hope wilted in my heart. I did not believe you could stand against the manifestation of Bahamut's power. For all your fabled strength and skill, I felt certain then that I was going to lose you, just as I lost my grandfather. Even he, a man for whom naught seemed impossible, was humbled before Bahamut's might. Listen, I only got here because of the other 7 people behind me. Or in front of me, as the case may be. And yet, look how far we've come. 'Tis incredible the feats of which we are capable, our boundless potential. 'Twas this capacity for greatness, I believe, that Grandfather so dearly wished to protect. With all that's occurred, I've come to understand that much at least. 'Tis done. Shall we make our way back to the surface and gather our thoughts? We've seen much that will benefit from Urianger's learned perspective. Oh, hello. Grandfather, it is you. Then, why? Abandon this quest, Alisaie. I will not countenance further sabotage of the coils. Sabotage? But we must disable the coils if we're to prevent Bahamut's revival. Your defiance seals your fate. No. No, you are not who I thought you were. My grandfather would never... Foolish girl. How could the White Raven allow herself to be bested by such sniveling opponents? Listen well. We all exist at the pleasure of one divine will. And the word of Lord Bahamut is absolute. Scurry back into your holes, vermin. You'll be granted this one reprieve. And should you be so foolish as to crawl into my lord's domain again, I will crush the life from you myself. That light in grandfather's eyes, he suffered the same fate as Neil. My grandsire's no more. That was naught but a phantom that profanes his noble memory. This mockery must be expunged. I will not rest until I free grandfather's soul from Bahamut's tyranny. Do you hear me, Bahamut? Your time's at an end. Eorzea and my family will be avenged. Oh, but that is ominous. And still very visually cool. What a sight. Alright. Where do I... Oh, here we go. Okay. Let's go wrap this little branch of quests up. Hello. How we doing? Alisaie is keen to seek Urianger's learned opinion on the disturbing events which unfolded during your expedition into the second coil. Truly, it is wonderful to escape that stifling air and return to northern Thanalin again, it would appear. I must thank you, Dermot. Were it not for your bravery, I strongly doubt that I would be standing here now. But you need not tarry on my account. The danger is past. Pray, go on ahead and apprise Urianger of all that has occurred. I will join you anon. My thoughts are yet unruly, and I would rest here for a while. Yeah, you do that. Have yourself a little break. Need anything? Pray return to the Waking Sands, and report our success to Urianger. I shall follow in due course. Okay, cool. Alright, well you take the time you need. I'll meet you there. Here we are. Urianger, how goes? The triumphant hero doth return. Thine eyes speak of the dread task's completion. The second coil now lieth dormant. Yet I sense the tidings thou bearest are not altogether glad. Pray tell me, what ill hath cast the shadow which falleth now across thy brow? So much ill. Just so much ill, Urianger. Let me fill you in on the ill. An old foe and an old friend. So 'twas but the ethereal shadow of Master Louisoix that Lady Alisaie beheld, an unnatural conjuration in thrall to the Elder Primal. That the fiend should deign to choose him of all men Even in full knowledge of the Shade's true nature, I would be hard-pressed to weather such a confrontation. Yet what agonies must the young mistress have endured? Such torment did she ne'er deserve. Mayhap 'twere better if the Lady Alisaie did absent herself from future forays into the coils. I've come too far to surrender to grief, Urianger. My lady, I am resolved to defeat these fiends, and naught shall sway me from my path. Now let us peer more deeply into the well of our discoveries. As you wish, my lady. By your leave, I would speak first of the Coil's late guardian, Nael Van Darnus. Van Darnus was a legatus of the Garlean Empire, who strove to bring about Eorzea's final destruction, only to fall even as the sixth sun did set. I'm assuming most of you remember, but remember in that 1.0 primer, that legatus who brought about Dalamud coming down? That was Nael Van Darnus. I'm pretty sure most of you probably recognize the armor, or the whole... I mean, they've kind of talked around it enough at this point that you probably get it, but just in case. If thou hast heard the tales of the White Raven, then it is he of whom they... Let me try again. If thou hast heard tales of the White Raven, then it is he of whom they speak. Aye, he, I say, for Nael was for a certainty no maid. The noble house of Van Darnus, as we discovered all too late, had long safeguarded the wisdom of ancient Alig. 'Twas thus that the legatus came to learn the true nature of Dalamud, and to seek to employ the Red Moon as a weapon against Eorzea. But the Crystal Tower, and the mechanisms required to command the satellite, yet lay hidden beneath the ground, compelling Nael to construct a far less subtle mechanism. And in his first faltering attempts to communicate with Dalamud, he did likely rouse the satellite's slumbering prisoner. Thenceforth did the White Raven's soul belong to Bahamut. He was fortunate indeed to acquire so powerful a thrall by chance. 'Tis little wonder he was so loath to part with him. Why let a simple thing like death deprive one of so useful a pawn? Though we may accuse him of bungling Van Darnus' resurrection, I dare say Bahamut was as content to have a handmaiden as a manservant. I only hope that the two thralls we encountered were the extent of this flock. I should also mention here at this point that, like the sort of weird gender thing they're doing here with Van Darnus is, I think, if I understand correctly, I believe Van Darnus was always meant to be a woman, but I think there was mistranslation in the original 1.0 stuff where Darnus was written as he. This is why I usually have just said they when referring to Nael, just because it's like a little bit of a mix-up, and I think they're trying to sort of, like, sort of correct this in a weird sort of way here. It's not like a full retcon, but they're kind of trying to steer the ship in the correct direction, kind of, and it feels a little clunky, but they already goofed on this, so correct me, anybody in comments, if I'm wrong on this, or if there's details I'm missing. That's my understanding of what's going on here, but frankly, I would like to know if there's more to it that I don't get yet. Yet I cannot help but dwell on Nael's words, those beloved children of whom he spoke. I assumed at first that he referred to the moon's beastly guardians, but should Bahamut have enslaved other mortals, we must needs remove this source of worship. Otherwise, our efforts to disable the coils shall be for naught. Forgive me mine indelicacy, my lady. Thou art wise indeed to speak of expunging the primal's thralls, but canst thou truly pursue a course which would cost thee thine own grandsire? My heart and mind are as one on this matter. Grandfather's salvation can be won but by a single method, the destruction of Bahamut, and aught that might serve to sustain him. Derman, while Urianger and I endeavor to ascertain the existence of any further thralls, I suggest you grant yourself a moment's respite. Rest assured, I will contact you the moment I have need of your inimitable talents. That we have achieved so much, I owe to you. I fear, however, that our trials have barely begun. Correct you are, we do still have a third of this raid to do. Though time had dulled the pain of thy passing, I find that I am wounded afresh. Master Louisoix, what good shall come of this unending search for knowledge and truth? Long have I believed the pursuit of such treasures to be the duty of every true Sharlayan. Yet when each new revelation serveth only to heap further anguish upon those whom we would fain protect, must we truly reach for more? So, you have found your resolve, dear sister. will you now find a use for the secret, for the key that only you and I hold? Given our familiar propensity for curiosity, you would do well to remember that keys may serve to seal doors as well as to unlock them, and Bahamut is a most unwelcome guest to whom the door should never have been opened. What secrets are you hiding, boy? Are you still back there? Hey. Wait, which direction? Darn it. Alpha, no. Are you skulking? Yeah, whatever. Okay. By the way, also, like I think I mentioned this kind of before as well, but Louisoix, in addition to being the grandparent to the twins, was also like the mentor and teacher and just sort of a kind of a real hero figure for just about all of the Scions who we know today. All the ones who are Archons who have those tattoos on their necks, who are from Sharlayan, who are kind of a bunch of nerds graduated from there, were his disciples. That they are here now because like Louisoix led them here, trying to stop the calamity in the first place. So he is a figure who means a great deal to all of them. Hence, Urianger is just also kind of being emotionally hit by all this. Anyway, you get the idea. Thank you all very much for watching. I'm going to see you next time as we try to wrap up this Bahamut raid. So, until then, do take care, everyone, and goodbye.